First off, congratulations on the series.
Thank you.
Let's start with you, Griffin. Your character, Arthur, is suffering maybe or maybe not from a mental illness. Why don't you set the scene for us a little bit and talk about his predicament and how it evolves through the course of the series?
Yeah, you know, I mean, Dot and Arthur both experienced this incredibly traumatic event when they were very young. Arthur saw it firsthand, which I think adds another level of a shock to the whole circumstance. But his brain sort of unraveled after that and was diagnosed a bunch of different ways, medicated a bunch of different ways, institutionalized a bunch of different places. So he spent most of his life being told what he won't be capable of doing, you know, being told the problems that he has. Dot sort of had to step up to the plate and become somewhat of a mother to him in the process. But a lot of her job is trying to support him, but also within reason. You know, you need to know your limitations. There's this thing our mom on the show says, which is good is great. You know, you don't need to aim for great. If you're good, that's good enough.
Aim for good, that's good.
And I think this show is kind of the arc of Arthur figuring out how he can become great and then having to convince everyone else around him that he knows what he's doing and he's not going to die in the process.
Yeah. Valerie, talk a little bit about Dot and how she's supporting her brother in the role and how she sort of evolves over the season.
Well, with Dot, as Griffin said, she comes from that same sort of traumatic event, but she, in a way, it's like she didn't have the luxury of falling apart because it's something that our mother couldn't handle, so Dot had to step up to the plate and be the one to take care of Arthur when he started to become ill. And, you know, she became a medical professional to be able to take care of him. And in that way, she's really spent her whole adult life anchoring her life around him and putting not just her grief, but her ambitions on the back burner. So for her, this season is really kind of a journey of self-discovery in that her life has been defined by Arthur needing her, and if he possibly doesn't need her anymore, then what is she living for and what has she avoided dealing with, which maybe she doesn't really want to look at.
Now the series seems like it was so much fun to film. There's so many great moments. What for you guys was the most memorable scene or moment that you got shooting together?
Honestly, I mean, the answer for me is that scene we have in the car in the pilot. And we also, Valerie got cast before I did, and she very graciously flew out when I was close to getting the role to do a screen test with me, which I think was a big part of selling them on the fact that I wouldn't ruin this show, is the fact that they got to see the two of us together and they bought the sort of sibling relationship we have. But we had this scene in the pilot where after she's picked me up from local jail and is trying to, you know, keep me grounded, down to earth, make sure I'm doing all right. It's a weird answer, but it's fun to do a scene that's that dramatic and dense in terms of the emotions on a show like this that has so many elements that are light, that are fun, that are exciting. It's fun to be able to dig into something like that and feel like you're establishing a real emotional core that hopefully viewers will be able to use to invest in this whole story.
And it's surprising. I mean, I would say the same thing because that was one of, you know, the first scenes I read. I mean, she's only in a couple of scenes in the pilot, and I expected them to want something different because those scenes and all of Dot's scenes can be read a number of ways. It could be very sarcastic. It could be that very dry kind of snarky character. And when they gave me and they gave us permission to play the scene in a really honest, empathetic way, all of a sudden it came to life, and the relationship came to life because you understood the history between these two people. And to have permission to do that, and have permission to do that on a show like this, was really wonderful and freeing.
We both kept saying, like, I can't believe they're letting us do this on a comedy. Like, after every take.
Like, we can have this much air? Really? We can, like, appraise?
But that's what's fun is this show is, like, it's like a sampler platter. Like, you get all these different amazing flavors that hopefully add up together to something greater than the parts.